The factory director gave each employee a $3,000 bonus. Only the woman received $100, just because the factory director had given her a raise yesterday. If she were given $3,000 now, the other employees would have something to say. In fact, the woman had worked at the factory for 6 years, and her salary had only risen from the original $6,000 to $6,600. Meanwhile, the intern who had just been made permanent had a base salary as high as $12,000. For 6 years, the woman had often worked overtime until midnight, providing technical support to the factory. Yet now she was being treated unfairly by the factory director. The factory director seemed to have forgotten that when the factory was first established, he had knelt on the ground and begged the woman to join the team because she had mastered the core machine repair technology. Without her, the factory would not be able to operate normally. The woman agreed to join, but she never expected that once the factory developed, the factory director would begin to downplay her importance. 3 days ago, the chairman of a publicly listed group invited the woman to inspect high-end equipment. Relying on her outstanding repair skills, she solved the problem in just 5 minutes. Everyone present praised her. The chairman offered a $5 million annual salary and invited the woman to join the group because of her ties to the factory director. The woman tactfully declined the offer. The chairman felt deeply regretful and said the group would always welcome her. Unexpectedly, when the factory paid wages 3 days later, the woman received a salary deposit notification and discovered that in 6 years her salary had only increased by $600. At first, she thought the factory was not doing well, but after asking around, she learned that only her salary was the lowest. Even the intern's base salary was $12,000. She was instantly disappointed. Then, she handed her resignation letter to the HR manager. The manager explained the reason for her low salary. She was 28 years old and was about to get married and have children. Marriage leave, maternity leave, and nursing leave would all add up to at least half a year. Moreover, after getting married and having children, her mental and physical capacity would decline. Considering cost reduction, the factory had offered her a salary of $6,600. After learning the truth, the woman did not want to stay there for even one more second. When the chairman of the listed group learned that the woman had submitted her resignation, she was overjoyed. She had long wanted to invite the woman to join the group. At the same time, the woman was packing her things and preparing to leave. When she learned that her boyfriend's salary was as high as $30,000, her boyfriend felt that she should not compare her salary with his. After all, he was now the factory's technical manager, while the woman was just an ordinary technician, so it was normal for their salaries to be different. The woman knew very well that her boyfriend's ability was not enough to hold that position. The factory had not gone bankrupt only because of her long-term technical support. Angry, the woman went to the factory director's office. Before going in, she turned on her voice recorder. The factory director knew the woman was unhappy about her low salary. He said she was about to marry her boyfriend, and that she no longer had any value. Besides, all the factory employees could replace her work. Thinking of her 6 years working at the factory director raised her salary to $7,000. Since tomorrow was the signing ceremony between the factory and the listed group, and this concerned the factory's future development, the factory director told the woman to prepare properly. If she ruined the pay raise, there would be no point in talking about it. The woman thought that since the factory director could not solve her problem, then she would not let the signing go smoothly either. Outwardly, she said she would be ready, but in her heart she had already formed a revenge plan. Before the signing ceremony began the next day, the factory's newest imported high-end machine suddenly stopped working. The entire machine could no longer start at all, but the chairman was about to come to the factory for an inspection. If it could not be repaired, the factory might lose a $10 billion cooperation project. A colleague asked the woman to fix it, but the factory director immediately stopped her. He had always looked down on the woman's skills and believed that aside from her, all the other technicians could repair the machine. However, to avoid any mistakes, the factory director ordered the woman's boyfriend to fix it. As the factory's technical manager, the factory director thought highly of his skills. The boyfriend said it would only take 10 minutes to fix. He took off his jacket and prepared to repair the machine. Sure enough, in less than 10 minutes, the machine was able to start. Seeing this, the employees all praised him. Only the woman knew that this $30 million machine had already suffered an internal short circuit. No one took it seriously, and they believed the woman could not possibly be better than the technical manager. The next second, the machine crashed again. The factory director instantly lost control. He grabbed the boyfriend by the collar and demanded an explanation. The boyfriend tried to fix it again, but still failed. The factory director had no choice but to hand the machine over to the woman to repair, threatening that if she could not fix it, she should forget about a raise. The woman deliberately said that even the manager who knew the technology best could not fix this machine, and that as an ordinary female technician, she also could not fix it. Besides, the factory had many other highly paid technicians. Now was their chance to prove themselves. No matter what, she should not be the one repairing it. The factory director knew very well that the woman wanted a raise, so with no other choice, he agreed. If the woman could fix the machine, then he would give her a $3,000 salary increase. The woman smiled faintly and took a calculator out of her pocket. With her current salary plus $3,000, minus social insurance, housing fund, sanitation fees, and team building fees, the total came to $7,520. This salary was still lower than the intern's. The factory director angrily cursed at the woman and threatened that once he finished signing the agreement with the chairman of the listed group, he would announce a total industry-wide boycott of her. When the chairman led the executives in, the employees excitedly stepped forward to welcome them. No one expected the chairman to walk straight up to the woman and then shake her hand respectfully. Everyone was stunned at the sight.